Pittsburgh continuing to count down the days and weeks to the first premium live event in 5 years coming to PPG Paints Arena on September 2nd. It is Payback. One of the big questions is who will be a world champion come Payback? Could it be Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, or could it be my guest, Senor Money in the Bank? He is Damian Priest. Sir, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Let's talk about that briefcase, that Money in the Bank. I don't have the official stats, but I know history shows it's pretty favorable for the person who has it when they try to cash in. What's the mindset? You've earned that briefcase, and more often than not, that means that being a world champion is in your not so distant future.
Yeah, for me, there's no question. It's going to happen. So it's just a matter of when and how, but it's inevitable. You know, this guy right there, it's gonna do wonders for me. That's the goal. That's the plan, and I feel like I'm in a spot that it's gonna happen.
I'm guessing you thrive, but there's got to be a sense of pressure that comes to that, right? I mean, you know, from the work standpoint, the work you've put in, but also from a company standpoint, as that everybody's looking at you saying, all right, this is the guy walking around with that briefcase. You know, I mean, does that change your mindset, or does that push you harder and faster?
It pushes for sure. So yeah, it's extra pressure because, you know, when you're poised to, let's say, be a champion, you know, or just be on that level, you know, you're working towards it and you don't know what's going to happen. So when it does happen, it's kind of like, oh, wow, this is a situation where you know it's coming, you know, so there's that pressure of, no, it's happening. So, you know, ahead of time, you know, I don't know what's better, not knowing or knowing. And this is a situation where I know, but I kind of enjoy that extra pressure. I like the idea of at any moment, you know, if I drop the ball, I fail, it's all gone. I just enjoy that extra pressure, to be honest. And I like having to, whether it's prove people wrong or prove myself right, either way, I just like proving myself over and over and like, no, I deserve to be here.
Yeah. You talk about proving yourself, proving people wrong. I mean, you know, you've been in the business, what, 15 years thereabouts, longer?
This is about to be my 21st year.
21st. Okay. Wow. So you put the time in, you've traveled the world. And obviously age and everything is different these days. The talent, the boys and girls today take way better care of themselves. There's more research and knowledge about what to do, what not to do. Talk to me about the stage of your career. Obviously, again, veteran, 21st year almost, but you're coming in, you're at your best. I mean, that's not normally how the story goes.
Right. No, I absolutely feel like I'm just starting. I feel like a rookie. It's the coolest feeling, you know. Obviously, to the WWE universe, I'm new. I'm still one of the newer talent. So, and I love that. And as long as I've been in the business, I like, even physically, I feel like I'm just starting. You know, I don't feel like, oh man, I only have so much time left. I feel like this is the start of my career, and I got plenty of time to go. That's how I physically feel and mentally. So for me, this is, we're just getting started, man. And I'm looking forward to all the things I'll be able to do and accomplish and all the fun to be had and all the accolades and all of it. Looking forward to it.
That's awesome. That's good to hear you're feeling good. Let's talk about Judgment Day. You know, you guys have been together on TV now for over a year, you know, like a year, almost a year and a half. And like in today's WWE landscape, with the amount of programming there is on a week, over a year is an eternity. But at no point has it really felt stale or whatever. I mean, you guys have continued to evolve. Everybody's evolved. You know, the Dom's evolved, and Rhea and you and Finn. And talk to me about the bond. First off, the bond that you guys have, because I know the matching tattoos that you see photos on social. You guys riding the roads together. This definitely feels believable, because I think it is, right?
That's why it works. I was just talking to Finn about this last night, you know, of why it's worked. And it's on paper, it doesn't even make sense because we're all so different. You know, I think Rhea and I are probably the closest to similarities, but everybody's just so different in the group and different styles. And we're all from different countries, you know, but somehow it works because we legitimately like each other and are always around each other. And it has nothing to do with just what you see on screen. It's just, we just get along, and we're all close. So it's real. And it's that much easier to portray that on screen, you know, where it just, you could see that it's real energy, not forced. We're not trying to be a group. We are, we're being. And I think that's why it works. And I think that's why it's, as much as people want to love us or hate us, they can't stop watching, because it's that thing of, this is organic, this is real, we can feel their energy, and we know it, and I think we love that even much more. And like you said, we keep evolving. If something's like comes our way and it seems right, we don't shy away from it. Dirty Dom right now, like, he's the perfect example. Going from where he was when he was with his dad to the man he is now, it's wild. Rhea, the same thing. Look at her like a year and a half ago, and then look at her now. It's a completely different entity. Finn Balor and myself, I think it's the same for us too. I think we're in a way, we were all kind of lost a little bit till we got together and off to the races, where it was like we have each other's backs, we support each other, and that's what we needed. We just needed that reassurance from somebody close to us, and having each other's backs and kind of like helping guide us to success. And we do that for each other.
Well, and that's what is wild, is that, I mean, all of you had some success on, I mean, Dom, you teamed with his father, prior to Judgment Day. Rhea had been in Mania matches. Finn had been a Universal Champion. You teaming with Bad Bunny. All of you had some success. It wasn't like any of you were plucked out of obscurity. Right. But talking about the original pitch and origin of Judgment Day, obviously Edge was there. And again, it's just wild that you guys lose your Hall of Fame leader of a group, and the group has just gone off to far more success than I think any of us envisioned at the time when it was formed. What was the pitch? Was it just a way to kind of repackage you guys, because it had like a lot of spooky kind of supernatural vibes at first? I mean, between the music and the purple lights, it felt Undertaker-ish in some ways. I mean, what was the pitch?
It did. So originally, it was, the idea of the Judgment Day has always been the same, was to elevate the superstars. In this case, it was Edge kind of like taking certain talent that have had success, to, like you said, but still aren't where they should be. But it would have been through following him achieve success, not supporting each other. It was basically, if just by being around Edge, we'll get the rub almost, which it worked till it was like, what, we can do this on our own. And I think that's where it can, where we went off, to do something else, as a group. But, and then, yeah, originally, so I know the supernatural elements and all that stuff, it wasn't necessarily intended to be that way. I think it came off that way. And then we were kind of like, okay, we got to be careful that we don't completely fall into that hole. It was supposed to be more about playing mind games and messing with people, like when we were kind of torturing AJ Styles. But then watching it back, it was like, ooh, that came off this way. So it wasn't necessarily on purpose. It just somehow looked that way. And then we kind of like, did we just shoot ourselves in the foot here? Now we're going to be the supernatural entity, like an Undertaker-esque thing. But that wasn't the intent. It was clearly darker, of course, with myself, Rhea, and Edge. Naturally, there's going to be some evil tendencies there. So that, and we were all cool with that part. We still keep some of the lighting, there's still that vibe, at least, to a certain degree. But now it's more, hey, just be however the hell you want to be. And, no, we don't all have to walk in unison. We don't all have to speak the same way. We don't all have to dress the same way. Like, we're all our own people. We're just together, but we're our own individuals. And I think that's the difference between Edge's Judgment Day and the group's Judgment Day, where we could be all our own and we don't all have to dress the same.
Well, and to that point, I love the little touch of, you guys have the Alter Bridge Judgment Day song when you guys are all together, but I love that each of you have your own music when you're in singles. I think it's a little thing. I don't even know how many fans notice it, but I think that, to me, that's a nice thing to kind of still keep that. Like you said, not everybody, you don't have to be synchronized swimming at all times.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, we all love that theme song, right? So a part of us are like, we would have been fine just all using that song all the time. And we had this discussion. It's like, I mean, the song is good. The entrance is cool. We could just do that. But then it was like, but we're not individuals now. We're always the Judgment Day. It's never Finn Balor. It's never Rhea. It's never Damian. So it was like, all right, well then when we're together, it's the Judgment Day. When we're not, we're who we are. And it's okay. Like, it doesn't mean we're turning our backs or diminishing anything. I think, if anything, it helps, and I don't know, just promote us as individuals more, which I think it helps the group more. And like, yeah, so far so good.
All right, real quick before we move off of Judgment Day, give me you get, like I said, guys on the road, you guys and girls on the road. Who in the Judgment Day? Give me a funny travel quirk, pet peeve of one of your Judgment Day cohorts. So there's got to be something.
Oh man, no, it's mainly always comes down. I mean, we're always joking around and laughing, and you know, up and down the road, and it's pretty funny. I think getting Rhea driving is terrifying. She always chooses the biggest truck that she can find, and then can't park anywhere. You know, Dom playing his music is hilarious because he'll start playing hip hop and then randomly country and then randomly like traditional Mexican music, and we're like, what? How do you just go from one to the other? But a lot of the stories I probably can't say in publicly, but we definitely laugh a lot. I mean, it's nonstop. That's again, it's crazy how close we all are, and in a weird way, I look forward to certain road trips because I know we're going to be in the car together, and it's just going to be laughter after laughter. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, save some of those stories you can't tell for the book once you guys are all retired.
Oh yeah.
Triple H, running creative now, has been for a year. Obviously, have a relationship with him going back to your NXT days. What's been the collaboration like now that you're on the biggest stage that you've been to this point in your career?
Papa H, and happy birthday because it's his birthday today. He's so good with talent as far as like, what do you want to say? Like, what do you want to portray? You know, like he doesn't want to have to micromanage you, because it's not authentic. And I think so. When we first started talking to him, and you know, he was kind of more hands-on with the Judgment Day. It was more of that of, look, you know, we know we want you guys to be seen a certain way, but you guys gotta do your thing. Just let loose. Like he was very adamant about letting loose. And just like I said, like we don't all walk in line, things like that. Like he was very adamant about that. He was like, you guys, you don't have to be this soaking, brooding group. You could be that, but with energy at a club, you know, like the way he was just describing. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. He was like, then go do what you want to do. You know, like be that will get you guys to the next level because people can feed off of that real energy. So he was really instrumental in giving us that freedom to just do our thing. And I mean, look at where we are now. It's crazy how just taking the rings off and just letting us roll. How that, I mean, changed the game for us.
Yeah, seems like the guy knows what he's talking about.
A little bit.
A little bit. He's done a few things. Lastly, you've been in the business, like you said, coming up on 21 years. I know you were a fan prior. Do you have any, I don't know, first memories or best memories as a kid growing up of watching pro wrestling? Anything that sticks out of you? If I ask you,
I got a ton, but I guess the biggest one is the moment that I fell in love with this business, and I was like, this is what I want to do, which is kind of funny because it wasn't actually wrestling. It was a segment on the funeral parlor. Undertaker stuffed the Ultimate Warrior, set a coffin, locked it. Warrior couldn't breathe, and they were trying to save his life. And I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. Not kill people, but it was just the way that I felt emotionally. I wanted people to feel that type of emotion. So I was enamored with it, and then and Undertaker's vibe and aura that really got me, like just so invested that I was like, this is so cool. I was born for this. So that's my earliest memory.
Inspiration comes from a lot of places.
Yeah.
And Taker, I mean, have you? I know he's been at the Performance Center over the years. I'm assuming, have you got to get any valuable feedback from him? Yeah.
It's man, this is a wild life. Like the people that I get to talk to and the people who give me advice. Yeah, Taker and I are actually cool. Like if he's at an event backstage, he usually sits me down and because he watches. So, and then he'll give me pointers and give me advice, just whether it's in-ring stuff, presentation stuff. He'll even tease me a little bit about some of my jackets. And he's like, it's nothing sacred anymore. And I'm like, what? But it's a tribute, But it's so cool that I get to talk to him and same thing, before he passed, when I got to talk to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and all these guys like that I looked up to, and even that the people that work in the company like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Hurricane, and all these guys that I get to talk to and pick their brain. It's very cool, like I grew up watching them and they were my heroes, and now they talk to me as like a normal person, and I'm like, no, you're not supposed to talk to me that way. It's really cool.
That is. Well, you're living your best life, and we're all excited to see what's to come. And we'll have to see, again, September 2nd, Labor Day weekend, Payback, premium live event in Pittsburgh, PPG Paints Arena. What will Damian Priest be doing by then? It shall be a very interesting story to watch. Damian, I appreciate the time, and best of luck, and we'll see you in Pittsburgh.
Appreciate it. See you then.